Zoom calls for school or work or to catch up with loved ones, or maybe even binging on our favorite shows during lockdowns.
These days, screen time seems to be all the time. Non-stop stimulation in an infinite virtual playground.
Is Generation Alpha being ruined by the internet? Are our youngsters losing important life skills and social relationships as a result of their excessive screen time and social media addiction? From virtual playdates to learning through the internet, see how these changes are affecting kids' development. Find out why teachers and parents are raising the alarm about the shift in childhood interactions. Welcome back to Mogulflix. In this video, we'll uncover the hidden risks related to the digital age that are influencing subsequent generations. Watch until the end, subscribe, like, and comment below. Generation Alpha is defined as those born between 2010 and 2024, with over 2.7 million kids born every week. These children are ravaged by screen addiction. When their parents took away their iPads or phones, they let out a lot of screams. Will kids ever act like kids again? The topic of parenting has come up for discussion because of the upbringing of Generation Alpha, or iPad kids. Although children's exposure to technology has increased dramatically in recent years, particularly since computers have been placed in classrooms, unrestrained parental exposure is blamed for the growth of these technologies. A 3-year-old traveling on Alaska Airlines had severe convulsions after his iPad was taken away from him before departure. As a result, he and his family were removed from the plane. Above all, these children have grown up with social media and technology. iPad kids have had access to streaming services and other digital media since they were too young to use social media or play video games. Children who utilize technology more often are suffering severely. If this tendency continues, children's social contact will remain in danger. Tech-savvy alpha youngsters will converse with others online, much as they did in the COVID-19 pandemic. Tech-savvy kids are better equipped for the possibilities that await them in the digital world, but parents still need to be mindful of the risks. Cyberbullying, for instance, is now alleged in 25% of bullying cases in schools. As such, the online space must be cautioned. For children under 5, the World Health Organization recommends limiting screen use to 60 minutes each day. Rather than participating in other developmental activities, kids under the age of 10 spend endless hours in front of iPads, phones, and TVs. Children are progressively becoming less inclined to play outdoors and more interested in spending time in front of devices. The internet keeps these kids from becoming spoiled and unruly, but ignores all the problems that come with giving someone an iPad before the age of 10. UNICEF reports that youngsters use screens more often may become less empathetic as their face recognition abilities decline and their attention spans shorten. In the absence of face-to-face interaction, developing nonverbal signals becomes more difficult. Babies need exposure to outside stimuli throughout their development. Screens, no matter how engaging, can never have the same effect. According to the 2022 National Valuation for Educational Progress, just 31% of 4th graders read proficiently, with over 40% falling below the minimum requirements. According to Insider Intelligence, more than 73% of American children under the age of 12 access the internet, and about 17% use smartphones. Families avoid chatting at open-air dining establishments. Parents offer their kids devices instead of paying attention to them in an attempt to persuade them to remain quiet. This isn't the way to build relationships with kids. Sadly, families are prevented from spending meaningful time together at meals by using iPads, which puts a barrier between them and their children. Children these days are playing with an increasing number of electronic gadgets, which has a big impact on their socialization. Generation Alpha friendships could not just occur on the playground anymore. Of course, these changes have resulted in difficulties for Alpha parents. Kids shouldn't use social media in an unhealthy way. Gen Alpha is often impacted by the newest trends that celebrities and influencers, of whom the majority of them are not certified professionals in the fields they provide advice. False information spreads swiftly as a result, contaminating the brains of children. Teens who purchase these items may be expressing and accepting the contemporary society's focus on adolescent perception and look. These include items such as retinoids, which are potent versions of vitamins A and C that may damage a child's epidermis if taken too early. Since the influencers who promote and sell these items are usually the ones who use them most regularly, this is a consequence of what youngsters see on social media. Nonetheless, since these influencers are so attractive, young people idolize them and want to utilize their products. This overemphasis on anti-aging in the media and internet should not be introduced to children, since it encourages early anxieties and unreachable beauty standards. These kids have no regard for their parents or the elderly, since they're always addicted to their devices. When their parents take away their electronics, either as a form of punishment or so they can eat dinner in peace, some children become so unhappy that they throw terrible tantrums that would normally be symptomatic of addiction. Unusual early exposure to activities that combine many tasks, use multiple gadgets, and watch brief videos is encouraged by their surroundings and might affect how long their attention span develops. Young children have short attention spans by nature and are easily distracted. Worrisome consequences result from the effect becoming much higher when they're exposed to a continuous stream of short videos. These include issues with behavior, impulse control, and concentration. The author of the animated video series Skibidi Toilet is a Georgian animator named Alexei Gerasimov. The installments are first released as YouTube Shorts before being collected into longer films and posted on Gerasimov's channel Da Fuck Boom, uploaded its first video on February 7, 2023, and has amassed over 164 million views. Additional videos in the series have garnered over 250 million views. Gen Alphas make up the majority of Skibidi Toilet's fanbase, with some Gen Zs and Millennials also belonging to this demographic. The blend of absurdity and potty humor in this show seems to be its main attraction for susceptible viewers. The storyline depicts a futuristic civilization in which Skibidi Toilets, movable toilets with human heads sticking out of their bowls, and humanoids with TVs, speakers, and cameras for heads are at war. Because the most human-like forms have distorted and sometimes brutally deformed features, some viewers could find it difficult to watch. Most parents are worried about the show and calling for the channel's removal from the public space. 21-year-old Gabe Escobar remarked on a TikTok video criticizing the weird and ill-mannered behavior of Gen Alpha and suggesting that Gen Z commit to not raising another generation of iPad babies. This video went viral with over 20 million views, and angry millennials and members of Generation Z replied in force. Bringing your kids up in front of a screen is not what parenting is all about. It's your responsibility as a parent to nurture, connect with, and assist your children as they grow. Gen Z parents must commit to reducing screen time and raising kids who are aware of their early years. If parents use the right approach, children's early years may be greatly enhanced by growing up with technology. Still, they're not entirely worthless since there are educational games, programs, and applications available for iPads. But in an interview with Vice, child psychotherapist Ryan Lowe, the representative of the Association of Child Psychotherapists, said that when it's used instead of a parent or babysitter, it becomes problematic. According to Lowe, they're not learning the basic skills of self-control and patience to handle anything challenging or annoying. Overexposure to screens may stunt children's creativity, hinder their ability to learn acceptable behavior, and teach them how to handle difficult situations or emotions. Children need to be bored and engage with people and their surroundings to learn basic skills and come up with original ideas. Excellent tools that allow parents to relax while their kids use screens include parental controls, ad-free applications, and kid-safe devices. These make it possible to prohibit access to certain websites and set time limits to discourage using electronics excessively. It's possible to plan frequent family talks on online safety. Generation Alpha learners are strongly dependent on technology and digital skills, which are linked to internet access. We all know that kids shouldn't constantly be on the internet, therefore parents need to exercise care. Being a parent is full-time work, and children need your whole focus at all times, particularly while using the internet. By getting to know your children and letting them know that you're always accessible to them, you may help them grow up to be well-adjusted people who don't become cyberbullies. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mogul Flix for more incredible stories. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.